This is 1 Timothy 5 verse 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. I want to start off with giving all praises and high honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kakadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles and teachers of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutation to the sincere Akiyam across the world. And may the election be upon your household. Shalom. So today, I want to talk about the Native Americans. Yeah, the so-called Northern Kingdom. The Latinos are also part of that, but my main focus is on the Native Americans. Why? Because I saw in a post, the people were talking, we are the Africans, this and that. So I responded like the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and West Africans are the real biblical Hebrew Israelites. And then someone responded, and he said like, but only the indigenous natives are, not them so-called white-looking. So I was getting kind of pissed, because I was thinking in my head like, he basically doesn't know better, But I was getting angry because that is not true. You are what your father is, according to the seed of your father. So let's say your father is a so-called dark skin, from let's say Suriname, right? Then you are Surinamese, and they go back to Israel. So then you are Israelites, and so are the Native Americans, So let's say you have a so-called brown-skinned Native American, and he makes children with a so-called white-looking female. The child might be lighter than before, and let's say it's a boy, right? And that boy gets a child with another so-called white female. That child will be even lighter, and he even might look like his mother, or he might look like his father, Let's say he looks like his father, so-called Native American, but his skin is all white. So basically what that man was saying like, he can be an Israelite because he's white. No, he is still the seed of that first one, that brown Native American. So that's what got me pissed, because that's not true. But I don't blame him, he doesn't know it. So that's what that actually inspired me to make this video. So this is 2nd Esdras 13 verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes. So this is talking about the Northern Kingdom, the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. So they were taken as prisoners out of their own land, Israel, in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. So the king of Assyria, Shalmaneser, led them away captive. So he took them into captivity to basically use them as slaves. And he carried them, the 10 tribes, over the waters. So what are the waters? The waters are talking about the rivers. You see? Let me see. So-called right here. So this is Jerusalem, right? Israel is right here on the left side. You can't see it right now. That's a shame, but it's there. And then Syria. Salakia. Wait, let me charge it again. So Assyria is right here. And this here you see a river, he was taking them, the 10 tribes, over the river. And reading on, it says, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. The other land is talking about Assyria. So this area right here where you see Assyria, right? So our forefathers, the Native Americans were there, being prisoners, in captivity. Verse 41. But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen. So our forefathers gathered together, the Native Americans, like, hey, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. Reading on. And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So they were talking like, hey, we gotta go to a country where there's never been, basically nobody has been there before. And that is talking about America, so-called Babylon. Reading on. That they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. So they were basically gonna go to America and to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai over there. Verse 43. And they, still talking about the 10 tribes, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. So the Euphrates River is right here. You see it right here. Euphrates River. Yeah. And when you follow it all the way to here, to the Persian Gulf, then it springs into the sea, to the ocean. Okay. Let me see. Verse 44. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. So they went into the Euphrates River, right? Let me see if I can get it. They went into the Euphrates River, and then when they came into the ocean, the Most High held still the flood, meaning he had still the waters, basically letting the waters be, how do you say that? Yeah, relaxed. And signs, he showed them signs, so they could get their voyage to America. So here you see the red arrow, the Euphrates River, and then we go to the right, you see the black line, right? And that's the voyage they had with their ship to go all the way across Africa to come into America. And we're gonna read on, and then you're gonna see. Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. So it took them a year and a half to go to that country where never mankind dwelled. So saying America this day. But reading on, and the same region is called Arsaret. So the region where they went is called Arsaret. When you type in Arsaret, as I've already typed here, you see Arsaret is America, So they went from the Euphrates River. So they went from Israel. They were taken captive into Assyria, and there they went into Euphrates, the river Euphrates, and basically they came into the ocean right there and followed the black line all the way to America. So that's how the natives came into America. Yeah, Khan. So that was basically the point. And I have a quick precept in Deuteronomy 29 verse 28. Because, let me read. This is Deuteronomy 29 verse 28. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. So the Most High took us out of our own land, Israel, and cast us into another land. So this is one of the curses that we are in right now. So going back to 2nd Exodus, the so-called Native Americans and the Latinos, they formed the 10 tribes of Israel, and they basically went into another land. So that's America this day. Here. Let me see. And why do they look like so-called Asians? Because when you go to Israel, right, you see here the tribe of Gad and Reuben. So they are also part of the Northern Kingdom, the 10 tribes, which went to North America. But here you see on the right, you see Ammon. And Ammon are the so-called Japanese people to this day. And our forefathers were making a lot of children with the so-called Japanese women. So that's why they have so-called Asian features, So the Gadites and the Reubenites went to North America, and the rest of the northern tribes, they went mainly to South America. So here you go back to this picture right here. Yes, you see South America is where the so-called Latinos were, and North America is where the so-called Native Americans were. And that's basically the point, man. So I hope it was edifying, and with that I want to give all praises and high honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Kakadash, double honors to my elders and apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and salutation to the sister Akiam across the world who are spreading this knowledge in truth and sincerity. May the election be upon your households. Khan, Shalom.